session. So in our previous session, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's a one-to-one. Maybe they may join, but most probably it's one-to-one only. Okay, don't worry. Wait a while. Very good evening. So yesterday we discussed about log. What is log and all, right? What is log? And in this particular what is log and all, we have also understood about what is information and event. In between there is something called audit trail, right? Audit trail, and then event. Yes, yeah. So this is we have also understood about what is event and what is log. Okay. The audit is sorry, info is what and when. Audit trail is who did, where did, and how did. And event is a group of info plus audit, right? Info plus audit trail. So which is none other than what, when, who, where, and how. Okay. So now log is what? Log is a group of events. Group of events. So similarly, as we discussed, log, now there are some log types. Log types. Now, as per the services, hardware, as we discussed, there is something called data services. There is something called information systems, right? Information and information system. So we divided these particular, things into multiple types. So there are total, if you see the cyber infrastructure, I made it something like I personally made it into 4 environments. Okay. So one is, we call it as data services. Data services. So when there is a data services, we need to secure that, right? So there will be always data security. Okay. So we have data services and data security with this. Similarly, network services. We have network services. Yeah. So we have something known as network services. So with respect to the network services, we have network security. Okay. So basically what we have two types of services. One is information system. Information system. One is, sorry. It is, one is information security and one is information system security, right? So the entirely combination of IS and ISS becomes what? CS, cyber security. So in this particular cyber security, as I said, we have data services, we have data security services, network security services. If we combine all, it become your cyber infrastructure. This is known as cyber infrastructure. Okay. So now concern is, what are the data services in a digital environment? So we have something known as a web page, right? We used to see that is a data service because people are giving web services to provide some information. So that is considered as web services is considered as a data services. Now, when there is a web, people used to log in, right? Now I have a Google Pay, Google, right? I have a google.com. Now, when I have a google.com, I am logging with my credentials, right? So how will I get credential? There must be something known as central user credential, which we register in the central user manager, right? Thus, that central user manager is none other than IAM. Okay, IAM service. It may be Active Directory or any other IAM, Identity and Access Management. So similarly, you may have file services, FTP services. Like file server is something like we do give some share services within the system, the file transfer protocol. So over the network, if we transfer the files, then port 22. Like you have DB services, database services. You have DNS services. How DNS works is host name to IP address. It will be ping like, it is something like host name to IP. Now, when you are typing google.com, actually how it works is Google, how my browser come to know that google.com is so and so. So in the entire network, it works on the principle of IP address, not the name or something. Like every home used to have its specific number. Like you may have your house number or a number plate, right? For your home, right? Similarly, so let's say my house number is 14/503 in my area. That means that means I am belongs to 14th block and there is a fifth floor and this is my third flat. So that means I have a big building. This consists of 5 floors, right? In this area, I have fifth floor. This is 503. Let's say this. There may be 501, 502, 504. Okay. So now these people are talk to each other without any issue. So when it is 14/503, in fact, within the building, we talk to each other without any issue. If we want to go 13th, let's say 13th block, I need to walk around. That means I need to walk through some road, right? I need to go to other building, to go the other building. Okay. So now you can see here, and if I want to connect 14/503, if my name is, let's say, Vishnu, if anyone asks, will they give any answer? Only the guard, if he sits, a guard who knows my name with my flat number, can only tell you, right? This guard is known as DNS. Who knows whose flat is what? Like Vishnu's flat is what? He will register in his book. Like Vishnu's flat is 503. Let's say Ravi's flat is 502. Let's say Anu flat is 404. Like that. So now when someone asks who is 404, now what 404? 14/404, because there may be 13/404 is also there. If someone asks DNA, this particular person who is 13/404, he will of course tell, because the reverse will also he might have written, right? So 14/404 is Anu right now. So he will simply say, okay, who is 14/404? Let's say simply he will discover and check and discover 14/404 is Anu. Now, how can I see in a real time? As this is a DNS server, so what I will do? This person may have also one phone number, right? Maybe one phone number or something, mobile number or a landline number. So that landline number I will throw in my DNS environment. That is also an IP basically. So I will contact him by IP address who is google.com. So how can I pick? For that, I use something known as, for that I am using something known as command prompt. See, I will just type CMD after running, or you can simply click here CMD. So the command prompt will come. So in the command prompt, I type nslookup. Nslookup is a command to understand. So my DNS is this. See, 218.248.114.101. So who is my DNS server? Who will give the answer for me? It is 218.248.114.101. Okay. Now in this case, what I will do, I will ask this, but I am now asking who is google.com. See, so he has given google.com is this IP. So similarly, whenever I type google.com, where it will go? It will go to this particular server, and ask who is google.com. As per that, he will get an IP address. In return, it will go from there itself. So browser will never know who are you, okay, or neither by that particular person, okay. So how Google will go? Google will go like, sorry, browser will go like this. Whenever you type google.com, it will directly go to the DNS server. Further, it from here, it will fetch the IP address, then it will travel with the packet. So this is how the things happens, right? Now we have so many such data services like web, file, DB, DNS, DHCP is there to provide the IP address dynamically, right? So you are getting an IP address as soon as you connect your network, you will get an IP address. If you see in your mobile, you can see you will find an IP address in the network environment. So the how that IP address is coming because of DHCP server in your router. So likewise, you have so many services. Similarly, to secure the data, now whenever we have a data service, like we have a laptops, that is comes under, we have a desktops, and all this comes under your data services only. Now, to secure that, we are using antivirus, right? EDR, endpoint detection and response, DLP, data loss prevention. Like nowadays, everyone is doing some mobile arise from the remote, right? If you lost your mobile, you simply go to your your drive, and you go to simply this particular account, and in the account you have a security wipe remotely option somewhere here. I'm not very good at this. If you want to wipe out, you can wipe out all the things, right? mm, Personal info, if somewhere here only, data and privacy, I think. Data and privacy, if you want to wipe out, you can wipe out the things, right? mm, Delete Google. No, no, not this. There is somewhere I have seen you can wipe out the data from here itself. Anyway, somewhere in this area only you generally used to see. If you want to lock out, you want to, but anyway, somewhere here only, if you see the Google, I mean, if you search in your YouTube and all, you will get something kind of stuff, okay? And if you want to, suppose if you want to, uh, let's say, if you want to, okay, it's asking all the passwords now, no worry. But you can see, you can manage it from here. If you want to uncheck and all, you can manage it from here. And you can, let's say, the devices, if you want to stop, let's say you want to, mm, there are two unknown devices are there. So I want to exit session. It is asking the password again and again, no worry. If I want, I can simply sign out. See, right? I can sign out this. So like this, I can sign out. So whichever I want, I can sign out. If you lost your phone, even you can check your system for your you can delete the data. Similarly, you can do all these things. Similarly, for that you use generally data loss prevention, right? So similarly, there are DRM. You can give some rights. Someone you wanna give only read write facility, right? In the Google Drive. So you are having the Google Drive. Let's say I want to share this particular. I want to give. Let's say I want to give only view permission to someone. So I can give this particular service is known as DRM. See, I'm restricting. I'm sharing with this link. Let's say I'm sharing to. Let's say I want to share it to. Let's say okay, Mammy TW. I want to give a view option only. Okay, just share. See, it's possible, right? Likewise, you can share with the people. This service is also known as DRM service. Like data services, data security services. So Drive solution is also comes under your backup server. All these are comes under your data security. So network services, you have a router, you have a switch, you have a hub, you have something like, a bridge. So all these L2 switch, L3 switch, router, all these comes under your network devices and your Cat6 cables and this one protocols, all the protocols comes under your network protocols comes under your network services. Now network security, similar to the network services, there are services like firewall, like IDS, IPS, like there are so many different type of services we have, like UTM, Unit Threat Management, Intrusion Detection System, Intrusion Prevention System, Unit Threat Management, firewalls. So these are comes under your various areas. Now, as we come to know when we have these many services in one organization, as I said, if you have about 10, it is very difficult to go to each system and do the log analysis. Now, how can we do the log analysis from here? Now, the only concern is we need to collect these logs. So, we need to collect the logs. So, we will collect all the logs too. Let's say I have so many devices here. I can't go to each system, right? So, what I'm doing, I'm collecting by using various protocols. Okay, to one area. This area is known as log collection. Okay, this area is known as log collection. Now, as I said, the log collection is also known as log archival because you are collecting at one area, right? Now, once this log archival happens, so I can take the data into another area called processor or a data controller. So in this particular controller, I'll put so many logs or some kind of conditions, some kind of rules, some kind of correlation, some kind of filters, queries, all those things. And I made I made it something like a readable and required data from a junk data because log archivals of lakhs of data. I cannot go and understand each and every event. So I'll put some conditions, rules, and filters, queries, correlations, and do normalization. And I need only required data and event of interest. What are my interests towards that particular data? I'll bring out that readable data only. Then I'll make it as a report, dashboard, right? So like, alert, notification, like queries, like you can make a user interface and you can see the output. So the entire process, as I said, collection, process, and desired output. This is none other than processing activity. But with respect to security, we call it as SIM services, security, information, and event management. What we call it as SIM services. So now, as I said, there are some log types and log levels. So for every there are as I said, we have so many data services, data security, and all. So each one's function is different, right? So if there is an accountant, his work is different. If there is an operational expert, his activity is different. Doctor's activity is different. Engineer's activity is different, right? So when I start talking with an accounts, he will start talking about financials and accounts only. When I start talking with a doctor, he talks about disease and curing mechanism. When I talk about engineer, he will talk about buildings and managements. Right. So everyone has its similar in its own work. Similarly, these services will also have its own services, and it will generate the logs on its own way. So in general, there are three types of logs. In general, we call it as admin logs, maintenance log, operational log. Admin log, maintenance log, and operational log. So you see every device it's a computer. So everyone required a administration. So whenever administration logging into the system, logging out from the system, so all this considered as admin log. Now maintenance log like upgradation, downgradation, changing of the system configuration is considered as maintenance. Now, what kind of work it is providing is an operation. So, it is device activity, it is software management, and it is service provision. Okay, it is device activity. So, who is getting in, out, shutting down, or service activity, you can say. And what is service software management, like changing, creating users within the system, upgradation, downgradation, all those comes under your maintenance log. And operations log, what service is it providing? If it is a DHCP server, it will provide a IP address, right? And it will add it. I have given IP address to, let's say, Shiva. I have given IP address to, let's say, Pradeep. So like it will note it in their logs. So we have a operational log, maintenance log, and admin log. So now it is a common name, but as per the required, like the names of every area is differs. Like we have in Windows event viewer, you see we have 4 different type of logs. So that is known as application log, security log, setup log, and system log. Application log, security log, setup log, and system log. Right? Now, application log, you are clearly understanding whatever the applications are creating, generating, all those things in the system, it will come into your application. Now, security. Now, you can also understanding the security login, log out, nor startup, shutdown, all comes under your security. Setup. Again, the word is giving, setting up, upgradation, downgradation, and any installation, all comes under your setup. And system, any services, start, stop, again services, like we have so many services. If you see in the uh, you know if you go to your task manager, in the right click and go to task manager, there are hundreds of services are running. See, these are known as internal services. So these internal services required to start, stop. See, some of them are in stop condition. If I change anything, let's say if I stop DHCP, okay. What I'll do, okay, there is something called vault service. I want to stop this. See, stopped. Now I stop it, right? I'll go back to, I'll refresh the log and just Need to refresh. You just wait for some time, it will come up. Okay. It is not updated, but you can see here. It is giving system service setup. Let me reopen Windows system. It is not yet updated, but it will come up. I will show you. I have stopped credential manager, right? You can able to see that here, but it takes some time in general. Mm, let us see. Let's wait for some more time. It will get updated, but no worry. So likewise, we have so many services, application security setup and system, whatever. See, and in fact, you can see here in the morning, I have started the mission. You can see in the security, see the special login started at this area. See, right? I have started around 6 o'clock. There are so many services taken started, right? So yeah, you can see here. This is the first activity that is started. It is shut down. The system got shut down at this particular time. Log off. Login session destroyed. In the night 10:20 I stopped, and in the morning 6:25 it is started. System got started with a service host. The first service will start at service host, and it will keep on start and it will get started on. See, so then it switched on so many other things. So it is started with the area, and it will keep on starting with so many user credentials. There is, when you start, right, it will switch on so many activities. Okay, I think it's not updating, but still no worry. I will one fine time you will come to know. I will show you that. Okay, don't. It is not updating because might be I have stopped some services. Because of that, it is not getting updated. But you can see here. Okay. So likewise, you have an application where you can see any installations on installation of application in the systems, any security login, logout, restart kind of stuff, any login failures also you can come to know if someone is doing login failures also. Let's say I will show you that one also. Let's say I'm doing some user login failures. Let's say the user is, let's say it is hacker. It is failed, right? The username and password is failed. Again, I am trying with the same name, hacker. Now again it is incorrect, right? Incorrect. Now you go back to your security. and C, unknown username password, and the name is hacker. Unknown hacker, username is password. See, it's come fast, very fast, because it's failed that activity. It is failed logon, account failed logon. Okay. So you can see this. You can see some of them are very fast. I think I actually stopped the service because of that. These logs are not throwing here, but you generally get see how fast the hacker logger is just now started 7:35. It's 7:36. Just at 7:35, 16 a.m. You can able to see someone there is a username and bad password. Okay. So like this, you can able to figure out the logs. Now it is not possible to, as I said, it is not possible to come each and every logs. So I need to collect this log into my SIEM tool. So what SIEM tools we have? We have for this particular session, we are planned for Sentinel. Okay. Now let's start with Sentinel. Now what is Sentinel? Now we'll start with the basics of Sentinel for the day. Now Sentinel is a product by Microsoft. We never call it as a Sentinel because there is a one more product is there, that is Sentinel 1, which is a EDR tool basically. Okay. And there is a one more service is there that is known as Sentinel services, which is a again elastic search service. So that's why we never call it as Sentinel 1 or Sentinel services. We simply directly call it as Microsoft Sentinel. What we call it as Microsoft Sentinel. We always call Microsoft Sentinel. Now, what is Microsoft Sentinel? So Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud native SIM and SOAR solution. Now question comes, what is SIM? What is SOAR? Now we understood SIM solution is security information and event management, right? But what is SOAR? SOAR is a responder. We are collecting and detecting some suspiciousness here, right? Suspicious activity we are monitoring and identifying. But how it needs to respond? It needs to respond automatically. Automated response. Now, security orchestration. Orchestrated data's automated response, because it is confirmed suspicious activity, because in SIEM, we are validating, we are confirming that this is a confirmed suspicious activity. Like we found there is a logon failure for user hacker. What I need to do? I need to stop this hacker immediately. I need to stop this hacker user immediately. So what I will do, if I have that user with me, I will simply disable. Now, do I have capability to disable hacker user? Actually, I don't have a power of disabling, because this is central user manager activity. So there is some experts, maybe something like IAM experts will be there. They need to do the things. For that, as a security analyst, I need to call this guy, right? IAM expert. And once we call and confirm, they ask for a ticket. So we need to generate a ticket. Once we need to generate a ticket, he will check on his in time and he will do the disable. So this entire activity takes, at least if we are forcing to do the thing also, right? At least it takes 15 minutes, not less than 15 minutes. By the time hacker may get access, hacker may take out the data and he can run away, right? So to avoid such kind of activities, what we can do, we will set up a SOAR activity that is known as security orchestration and automated response, where as soon as we confirm there is a user login failure, we can tell there is a SOAR service is there. We can tell to the SOAR service saying that disable that user immediately. So as we will create some automation, so that particular source service directly go to the IAM server without the human intervention, it will disable the user. So for that, what we required some permissions here, right? Then only he can enter into IAM, he can disable the user. So this particular service. So it requires some permission which will be given by IAM earlier in a automation script. So when we request, they will provide that kind of permission to disable user in the IAM. So they will given one credential so that the automation process will be taken care of. Okay. So this entire process is possible by using Microsoft Sentinel. So now what is Microsoft Sentinel? Again, I am telling this is Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud native SIM and source solution. Now again, it is a next generation SIM solution plus source solution. Again, I am claiming this is a native cloud native SIM and source. What is mean by cloud native SIM and source solution? So cloud native, it is considered as this is the first cloud SIM solution by Microsoft Sentinel for cloud. So we have so many cloud services in the market, like there are so many services. Let's say I'll take a good example. So we have Azure, we have AWS, we have Google Cloud Platform, we have Linode, we have DigitalOcean. Very famous cloud service provider. We call it as CSP. Now, we must know what is cloud and all. I will tell you, don't worry. So, out of this cloud service provider, no one is having SIM solution except Azure, that is Microsoft Azure. Okay. So, only this Microsoft Azure is having own SIM solution called that is Microsoft Sentinel. Okay. The first one, which is created for safeguarding Microsoft Cloud along with the other services too. Okay. Now, after this Azure, GCP also bring up one solution is known as Google Chronicle. What? Google Chronicle. Chronicle is another SIM tool, is a second SIEM cloud native SIM solution. Okay. Second native cloud SIM solution specially designed for Google Cloud Platform. But do AWS has its own SIM? No. There is no SIM solution is available for AWS. Similarly, no SIM solution is available for Linode. No SIM solution is available for DigitalOcean. But you can use third-party SIM solutions like Splunk, QRadar, like Wazoo on this particular platform. Okay, but there is no specific SIM solutions by this particular company is not available. Let's say Microsoft organization, there's a Microsoft Sentinel is there. Like Google platform, Google Chronicle is there. There is no AWS SIM solution. There is no Linode SIM solution. There is no digital. But there is a Splunk solution. There is a IBM QRadar. You can use in the AWS, no problem. That doesn't matter. So not every cloud is providing the SIM solution except Azure and Google Cloud Platform. Now, how this particular Microsoft Sentinel works? I will take 2 minutes and I'll close the session for the day. Then we will talk exactly from tomorrow onwards exclusively with respect to Microsoft Sentinel, deeply into the we will deep dive into this particular Microsoft Sentinel. Okay. Now, let's say, as I said, Microsoft Sentinel is a SIM and source solution. It works on the principle of CDIR. What is CDIR? So It works on the principle of collect, detect, investigate, and finally respond. Okay, it collect, detect, investigate, and respond. So Microsoft works on the principle of CDIR, which is it collects the log, collect the security logs and security data across the your your on-premises data. Like if it is your data center, it collects the data from your data center or your from endpoint or from anywhere of your systems. And if you have Azure cloud, Azure cloud, and of that cloud, everything will be collected and to a one area called LAW. So this is the collection area. So where we will collect all the data, we will collect all the data anywhere from this particular. If you have another cloud also, let's say you have AWS cloud, you have GCP cloud. Okay, it is GCP and it is AWS. No worry, you can also collect this log to your Sentinel. If this is Sentinel, Microsoft Sentinel, so you can collect the logs to this log, no problem, from AWS and GCP also. Anywhere from your, anywhere in from your, world, anywhere from the world, you can collect the logs to this law. Now, what is law? Law is log analytics workspace. Where this is the workspace where we do log analysis. Simple, right? Law is log analytics workspace. So Microsoft Sentinel is the next generation SIM and source solution, cloud native SIM solution, which works on the principle of collect, detect, investigate, and respond. So this particular area is works by collecting the logs in log analytic workspace. This log analytic workspace further integrated to Sentinel app in your Azure portal. Okay. So for that, we must know about what is Azure first. So now what is Azure? Azure is a cloud service provider. Now you have, if you just go back again to some 2 decades and 3 decades, when you go back to the at least of 4 decades, the computer was invented. So there is no think of in another computer communication. But over the period of time, people started communicating between the two systems, right? Then people started communicating within the office, like multiple systems, right? People started communicating each other, right? By using computer. Then the added, internet added between the two different systems. Then world becomes very small, it becomes globalized, and people are started communicating within the world by the systems. Now, so from one computer, we have reached to lakhs of computers interconnected in the network, and this become globalized, right? This become globalized. Now the concern is at the starting of the systems, we were using something known as server room, where we used to have our server in a server room. Again, this is when it is globalized and people started giving the services centrally. We used to have earlier, we used to have something known as server room. Then it is converted as a data centers, like big missions in a big area. So many racks at one location, right? Now, even this is become costlier. Sorry, sorry. This become costlier, right? So what happened? Then people started after Corona, specifically just before the Corona, people started thinking of jumping into shared resources. Now, what is mean by shared resources? to maintain this particular data center. So if something happens to this data center, we may require the entirely same such kind of data center. So they required a disaster area. So maintenance become more. At least half of the services I need to keep it in another location, DR site, disaster recovery site. This is the main site. This is the standby site. So, and for this, I need to maintain the, electricity separately, manpower separately. So this is a huge task for the people, right? So maintaining of data center not that easy. Now people are thinking it is not cost effective. Let's go for a shared resources. Now the way the actual cloud services starts by the first services provided by AWS in the name of web services. So people started providing in the name of web solutions in the web pages in the account. So Hostinger, AWS, these are the first web service providers. Afterwards, this AWS started providing VMs, that is known as IaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. They started providing. So what they did, they made a big data center and they are giving some racks to the individual. Let's say I want one server, I will get a one server. If I want entire rack, I can get an entire rack. If I want entire data center, I can get entire data center. So who manages? AWS manages. So you will be given with a one web page like this, like AWS are, I'm connected with a, portal.azure.com. This is an Azure cloud. I'm connecting. So this is how it looks like. So there are more than 400 services it is providing by Microsoft Azure on rental basis. So you can use IaaS, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So you can go to the Azure marketplace. When you go here, there is something called all services. There is something known as Azure marketplace. This is itself, it is marketplace. Otherwise, you can click here, the marketplace. This is a marketplace. You can see there are hundreds of services they are providing on rental. Okay. So some of them are IaaS, that is infrastructure. Some of them are platforms, some of them are softwares. So if you want, let's say this one, Rocky Linux, you need to, you will get around 2.171 per hour, 2 rupees per hour, on average. Okay. So if you want this, Discope custom identity and access management, 4 rupees, sorry, it's 4.217 per year, sir, per 1 year. So 2 point, yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. So likewise, you have like, Oracle Linux, it is 5 rupees per user for 3 years. So like you are giving the services, some of them are free. So you have to set up like this. So by using this, you have so many services. Like there is, if you want a DB, you just service like DB. Just type database. So it will give all the DB related services. So it will provide these many database services. So it is giving the cost even. So it is a cost, yes. Zetarius, it is a data vault for DB. It costing something like, 10 lakhs 14,000 per month, right? So some of them are cheaper, some of them are costlier. So you can share this, right? So there are total 246. There are more than 400 services, but 246 is showing. So likewise, you can go. So with respect to DB, there are 246. So like if you want to go for a web services, so when you type web, you can see there are these many web services are there, right? So likewise, whatever that you can set up here. So protect these services. We need to have a Microsoft Sentinel. See, there is a Microsoft Sentinel app is there. To set up this, we required a one service called La. So before that, we must know how to set up this Azure platform and how to manage your users and how to manage your RBAC, that is role-based access control. We will see that how to activate and set up an Microsoft Azure account in a for individuals. So if anyone has credit cards, please make sure that it should be with you in tomorrow's session, because tomorrow I will tell you. I think most of you have the credit cards, right? So keep your credit cards ready with you in your session, so that we will set up a Microsoft account in tomorrow session, so that you can practice this Azure Sentinel in your own account. Okay, so this is the only requirement. So what you required a valid. So in tomorrow's session, what are the things that you required, so that we will set up a AWS Azure account. Okay. So what is the thing we required? We required a credit card. So no worry, it will not charge anything, though it charge one rupee or a 2 rupee in general. But this will be get reversed. Okay. There is no charge for this, but only we require is a valid credit card to validate. Second is, if you have a PAN card or a GST number, you just keep it with you. Mobile number, and we of course we will create one email in your Hotmail or Outlook. We will create one Hotmail or Outlook email. We will create mobile number you required, PAN card you required, or GST required. You required a credit card. So most of the people used to have PAN card, credit card, mobile number, and of course we will create a Outlook. By these 4 items, we can validate and we'll get 1 month free trial. Otherwise, it may charge up to 2 lakhs, but we are going to get this free of cost for next 1 month if you have these things. So once we have this, we will start working on it. We will close the things. So please keep these things with you in tomorrow's session. Then we will create our first Azure account in tomorrow's session. Okay, so that you will be ready. I will start explaining the things, how to create users, what is mean by resource group, user group, how to manage the things, how to create your asset in your Azure environment, all those things that we are going to cover. Okay, so this is all about for the day, guys. Please do join. It is it looks like it is very from tomorrow onwards, the actual practical, sir. There is no more theory. If at all the theory is there, while explaining the practicals only, I will going to teach you. Okay. So this is all for the day. Tomorrow we'll meet, and thank you so much.